Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day with Delenn. We are delayed starting, just Taco Tuesday, suffice to say. And good morning to Al Poppins, I believe, for catching the first. And congrats to that. Just going to clean up a couple of pieces from yesterday. There we go. And good morning, Benson. Thank you ever so much for continuing to drop in, even if I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. I do appreciate that. It means a lot. All right. I have absolutely zero idea what I'm doing in here today.
Hello there.
We shall figure out something. I have a couple of different things I said I could do, so that's probably where we're going to start.
Oh, hello there.
Hello there to everybody. Sorry, just couldn't see my keyboard lights. All right. One of those days. Very super quick story while we're figuring out what we want to do. I'm just going to take a quick look at the map to start. Okay, we could do some wall, although that's not super exciting. Exciting. Wow. Actually, I'm not really building out there, so I can skip that. Okay, I'm going to start by doing a little bit of terraform to just clean this out because the gray is bothering me, and I know I need to do like a brook and some farms and things, but the gray seems making my brain work around it, and I don't need that. So I'm going to start by doing that, and we'll see where we're at. What am I carrying? Not much. Okay, that's good. So all of our wood, wow, all of our wool is in here now, and that's where it's going to stay. It's kind of central, not quite what I originally envisioned, but it's going to do. And then some of the other things will probably end up in here as a big storage building. That's where my head's normally at. I'm going to build another one of these over in this corner, and that's going to be specifically for stuff from the mob farm. I've thought about rebuilding the mob farm out here. I'm still on the fence about doing it, but I really don't like the under cavern version. So yeah, that's another piece. Anyway, neither here or there at the moment. There's the aqueduct we built yesterday, and my janky roof. Oh, can't go out there without any dirt. That's not going to help anybody. So let's just see what I can find in here. I don't have a ton. I've been using a bunch of it for other projects. Do I have... there we go. I need a couple of shulkers, because I think I only have enough dirt for, yeah, for putting in there. Let's get this part lined up, and then we'll go and take out some of that. Good morning, Bailey Games. Haven't had a chance to connect with you in a while. I appreciate that you chose to drop by. Thank you very much. I hope everyone's day is doing well. Mine's a bit of a rough start, but that's because I had a series of weird dreams last night, and you never want to wake up in the middle of your weird dreams. Trust me, it's not a cup of tea. But, you know, sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. So we'll just see where the day goes. I think we'll be okay. Yes. Whoa. Not quite what I intended. So, want to do that, not a shift. There we go. All right. Yep. I'm glad to hear it. There we go. Alrighty. So yes, this is a little bit of terraforming-ish stuff. If I get on a roll, then we'll move right on into the basic creek and stuff. At least start digging out the top part of it. But gotta start somewhere, right? And the other thing it will tell me is how thick this space is. The fact that we've got stone says that we've got ourselves a cave beneath, and I don't know how far down that cave goes. And let's see, just gonna take a quick boo just to see, can I? Whoa, okay. So I've got the cave collision turned off, which is not great, because it's all cheaty and whatever. And inevitably, even if someone's being kind, we always get somebody who goes, hacks! Gotta be hacks! So I'm just staving that one off. Alright. So anyway, yeah, last night's streams were kind of odd. Wow. I think it had to do with the fact that Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I, particularly when we're hot, tend to roll around a lot in our sleep and may have collided a little bit. And so by colliding, I woke up a fair bit. And I don't know why, because I haven't been actually having super long or super great sleeps lately generally. So I shouldn't have woke up to that, but in any case I did. And so I had some oddball dreams. And this is, it's not normal, but in one of them that kept sort of recurring, apparently in my world it's supposedly really, really scary for me to trigger the warden in my sleep when I think I'm going to blame Dadcraft's thumbnails. I know that sounds really weird to say, and if he's kicking around I do apologize, because it doesn't sound good when I say that, and it's not meant to be rude, but that sort of thing allows me a little more easily to cross over from a video game to dreaming about the real world. Just the AI, I don't know why, but the AI art has been really good at that lately. So, in this one, there was like a post-apocalyptic thing. For some reason, I bet it's because Fantastic Sherlock Fox has been talking to me about what he was watching in Apple's movie or made-for-streaming version of Silo. But in any case, we had this like tunnel-y type thing. We're going place to place and stuff. Cross it with the fact that of late I was talking to the kids about the book version of the Myst games. Oh, not already. Okay, so we won't have much dirt for long. So anyways, cross those two together, and we get a nice poke-apocalyptic. There we go. Words don't work. But part of this was there was some tunnels and stuff that we were supposed to deal with in this world, and did not or could not. I guess is probably another way of putting it. And so, unfortunately, there was tunnel boring jobs and things like that. So that's related to the Myst series, because one of our major characters starts out as being a tunnel borer, or related to the tunnel borers in some way in the story. And so they're boring a tunnel, and then they get to the surface. Well, in this case, we didn't get to the surface. We got to a big sculpt cave, and it went way, way, way down, but it went down sort of in stages, like almost, you call it a tiered thing? Not tiered, terraced, I guess. Nope. Yeah, I guess, maybe. But you look 2 or 3 blocks down, and so I remember looking over the edge and going, okay, I know what this is, you know, I know what blocks to look for, but of course it was too late. And in this dream I had triggered a warden which decided to come out of the wall right near me rather than up from below, just because of the shape of the place we were working in. And yeah, managed to do a generic runaway, but supposedly, you know, the nondescript filler actors didn't make it. Yeah, and it was just a whole bunch of suck. So, so we had that running amok, and I guess somebody else, unrelated, we just one of these, like, you hear about it stories, is not only did we end up with 2 or 3 of them running amok fairly quickly, which wasn't all my fault, somebody else had let something go, which is a weird combination of behavior from a wither crossed with, I guess, he used a generic wither shape, but a lot of the dark, sticky elements and texture and whatever of the Queen character from Alien. Yeah, a lot of that just didn't mix well. So I'm here. This is much better. This is far less creepy. And this is all square and blocky because real life isn't. So we're good. We're back. But it made it a little bit hard to get up this morning because when I finally woke up and not only is the relief of everything okay, my brain's going, yep, now that I'm where everything's totally normal, then I don't want to get up because I'm tired. Well, yeah, but there's also that apprehension layer going, but you're just going to fall back in the dream anyway. So yeah, I had to make myself get up to actually prove to myself that I'm actually getting somewhere. So yeah, fail on that part. Oh, well, I guess we don't have a cave, at least as far as the coal pocket goes. So yes, that was a bit of a dark start to the morning. I do apologize for that. People say that sorry, the people who claim to know what they're doing when they're giving you advice about streaming say you should talk about your experiences, anything and everything, and maybe that wasn't such a smart idea. I don't know. Here we are. So my experience at the moment is I'm digging in a hole. I'm fixing a hole where the rain comes in and stops my mind from wandering.
Hello.
Which is probably a good thing.
Hello.
Ah! Well, thank you ever so much, Tom and friends. I appreciate that you guys chose to come in. Thank you so much. So I do apologize, I was not able to touch base enough with Fantastic Sherlock Fox due to meetings to know what Tom and crew were up to. So, if you guys managed to dodge the ads long enough, please do let me know what he was up to. We're just putzing around today, starting with a little bit of cover-up. So,
Oh, hello there!
we're putting lipstick on this pig of a hill so that I can then work on digging part of it back out again to work on the little creek and some farms that need to come in. So those be generic farms because they're all like manual farms because they're just for show. They're not for actually do anything. The farms will be all show and no go. How's that? Well, when Poodle Pirate gets back, I want to know what Poodle Pirate had for lunch. I do. I do believe in lunch. I do believe in lunch. I do believe in lunch. With apologies to the Cowardly Lion. So afraid. Messing around in the deep dark on... Jeez.
Hello?
I'll fill you in just a sec. But, wow. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there. Okay, so anyway, I'll say welcome on in, ITT Tom. Good to see you. Good to see you, Bob. Thank you very much for coming and bringing your friends by this morning. So one, the deep dark is not my cup of tea personally. So thank you for being willing to mess around in the deep dark. I would rather hire someone. Owl or Tom or otherwise. Maybe a bat if I got the chance, but that's the wrong server. But, yeah. Well, there's a shop now. Exactly. If I actually need anything.
Hello there.
Thankfully I have not yet needed the what do you call it? Warden Zone Pest Control yet. Alright. So what I'm working on today, as I said, I'm just cleaning this part up a little bit so that my brain can think through, because when I take a look at this section and I keep seeing the stone, I keep wanting to work around it or not do anything with it, and that's not helping because I need to actually basically make it into farmable. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And I apologize for the very strong reaction when you guys came in. I was just muttering around about, those of you who weren't sound up on this one or weren't in here yet, I was muttering around about the fact that I actually had a nightmare involving wardens last night. and some accidental deep dark, and yeah, it was not pretty. And it was not very Minecrafty either. I was actually just describing the warden in Nightmare, so yeah, it was quite interesting that you guys were messing around in the dark. So I guess, I don't know, the timing of the comment was eerily appropriate. Ha ha ha. Yeah. You guys have fun. And I did catch some of the night you guys were running around with Poodle Pirate. I just wasn't able to, things were going on and wasn't able to chat in that, but I definitely watched a good bit of that and saw you guys were having an awful lot of fun. So I appreciate that you guys do that. I mean, this is, as some have said, you know, if this is the sort of thing some players will like, this is the sort of thing you're going to like. Sounds odd, but yeah, it works. I'm the, was it manually brushing out a trail rune speed, I guess. Ooh. Hangman. Hangman has been triggered. So, if you don't have the instructions already, where is it here? Yeah. Okay, so the guesses, it's exclamation point guess letter, then a space and the letter you're going to guess. Or if you think you know the word, feel free to exclamation point guess word, and then stick your word in. It does go letter by letter. It doesn't allow you to guess an incorrect word and then have it pull the letters from that to see which ones you did get correct. So that's not how that one works. What else? I did not come up with a list of words, so there's some really weird ones in there. That would be ideal had I done so, but not in this case. I'm actually working on a word list, but it's just really slow going, very backburnered because it's not preventing the game from functioning. So yeah. But plenty of you have played Wheel of Fortune or seen with the Wheel of Fortune game show, and this one is not charging you points for your guesses. So you don't have to worry about buying the vowels. Doing that bad on finding ore pockets that are half decent. Okay. Alright, so where are we here? There's OT so far. Something something OTO. Nope, sorry, something something OT. And it does uncover all the letters of that, all the slots of that letter if there is repeats. So yeah. So this one is definitely not Lotto, or it would have actually uncovered that. Okay, so proper good mornings. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Good morning to, yeah, okay, Tom, Bob, yep, Stormy. What else we got? Bailey, yep, still playing, okay. Bucks, haven't missed anything. Excellent. All right. I have absolutely no idea what I have for a title going on right now. Wool sorter and wool sorter engineering. Huh? Wow. Okay, I have no idea what that title's got to do with anything. I'm just gonna change it up here. What have we got? Freak. Oh, can't spell. Freaks. Freak. And pawns. I have to actually put capitals in here. Titles. Okay. Oh, go live doesn't matter. The go live's all wrong, but that's okay. Poodle likes sleep. So for Hangman Bailey, if you want to guess a letter, it should be exclamation point guess letter, as in the two words guess and letter smushed together. If you want to guess the word, same format. So exclamation point guess and letter, sorry, guess and word smushed together. Yep. Oh, I mean, hey, if it wasn't candles, it would be, I'd be like torching the heck out of the place. It's just my style, which is kind of dumb because there are other ways to be able to see down there. See down there in that deep dark. The other thing, actually, I realized this morning while I was getting ready, or trying to, was that I was trying to figure out why I don't like my mob farm down in a cave. Aside from the fact that it's got issues with rates, which being up above the surface is not going to be any better other than the sky in lieu of caves. But I think the other reason I don't like it is when I'm down there, I keep expecting, this is going to sound really weird, but I keep expecting a hand to show up. Like a big hand that's going to hurt you. And that sounds really ridiculous. Ooh, the word was spots. Good job, guys. So, where was I going with that? So yeah, I would keep expecting hands to show up, even though I know that's not. It's modded. But, so I cut my teeth on Minecraft in a really big way. So my first experience with Minecraft was Tower. And you're not going to have a big hand in that one. Hey Springer, good to see you. How are you doing? Yes, I keep forgetting. You're across the pond. How is the UK weather today? Between yourself and Bob, we have a couple of UK people in here, and I love it. You're catching me just as I was going into the history. We're in the meantime, there's the mill we built. There's the monastery, and I'm just wondering why I've got bees, but okay, sure, I'll take it. And I'm taking out some of these stone tops so that I can actually wrap my head around getting onto the creeks and building the farms and stuff to basically feed the monastery. Recognizing, of course, I still have not solved the issue of the disappearing villagers. And I don't know what to do about that one. So, yeah. This is not going to be my trading hall, and if the villager problem gets too much worse, like I used to have well over 20 librarians kicking around, and as you can see, we've got just over a half dozen, and that's it. Don't know what happened to the rest. No clue. They love to congregate in the center sections. The only thing I can think of is either chunks, you can see the chunks flipping around here, or possibly like thunderstorms and such, and then the golems would get whatever's left as mobs, but I don't know. Anyway. Yes, my villagers keep disappearing. They are trapped inside the monastery. They should not be able to go anywhere, but I had easily over 20, and now I'm down to about 7. And I know I have a problem with that happening in Bedrock, so I have to make them immobile before I go anywhere. And I just haven't got the wherewithal organization to lock them into little spaces in the monastery, because it doesn't feel like the monastery is very alive if they're not free range. But either I'm going to make it a completely empty location, or I need to start again for the like 4th or 5th time on these guys and breed them up and have them stick in one spot. For that, I'll probably be purchasing some honey blocks in that case and putting them all into little cells where they can't really go much of anywhere. It's a shame, but necessary, I'm afraid. So that's something that I want to figure out exactly what my plan is before I spend the effort and time to do it again. while I'm still addicted to having villager trading halls, it is my kind of go-to every world. This is getting a little bit frustrating. So, anyways, yeah, that's my derail. Where was I going with this? I can't remember what I was talking about. That's okay. Oh, right. So I started on tablet Minecraft, and then we were watching. For those of you that are familiar with the creator, the Pigglesworth, we were watching the Pigglesworth, and then later Dadcraft73 do their runs at a mod pack called SevTech, and I got hooked. I already had a gaming laptop because I used to be a WoW player, like World of Warcraft. And so I was really interested in this whole SevTech thing, and we bought Minecraft. Yay! You know, who doesn't love Minecraft? Just kidding. You wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. But, so we bought Minecraft, and I fired it up. Well, there's a I don't know, let's say world, but not really world, dimension, I guess, in the SevTech pack. Ooh, welcome back. Welcome back. Now, Triple E, Triple A 19, how would you like me to, what name would you like me to use? Because it's a bit of a mouthful to say all of the letters and stuff for the name you've got on Twitch. I'd like to be able to talk to you as well. I just don't really know what I should be using for a name. So please let me know. So I was playing SevTech, and they have a dimension in SevTech called the Beneath. And in the Beneath, you need, basically, lighting it up helps. You really want to light it up, because otherwise it's Mob City. But in some areas, if you get to where it's too dark, an actual large hand will come out of the darkness and damage you. I survived the Beneath, but I mean just always on edge for that large hand. So I don't like being in caves in Minecraft. And that's not to mention that both dimensions still included spiders. You know, we're all aware of that one. It's an old story. No need to go there. But for sure, that was not great. So every time I go down, because the way the Beneath worked was that you would often, actually, you generally, when you've gone through a little teleport block to get into the Beneath, like a dimensional teleport block, sort of like when people stand on a block and use it like an elevator of sorts. This one, you stand on the block, and then when you show up in the Beneath, it's almost always you're up high, and you need to figure out how to get down lower. Twilight was tough, yeah, but and that had its own set of things, but it didn't freak me out quite so badly. Anyway, you always had to figure out how to get down. And one of the things that would often happen is this big hand would come down, and literally, and I'm not, like, there's a swipe action to it, this thing would, like, come, if it wasn't bright enough where you were, it would come down and knock you right off your little pillar of whatever it was you were climbing down. So, yeah. So when I'm going down into the cave beneath my base for accessing the mob farm I've got down there, which I thought was a good idea, I'm now having situations where I keep expecting a hand, and it's anxiety I don't need, so I don't need to cause myself that issue. That's a long story about why, I may not even tear it down, we'll see, but why I'm probably going to recreate it above ground over here. To take advantage of the sky, take advantage of the fact that this is a dip down. We'll still have some mob reducing to do by lighting up around here in ways, but that's one of the reasons why I'm pulling that one up from being beneath the ground, and why I have absolutely zero interest whatsoever in going into the deep dark. The Warden is creepy. The Warden is scary, but the Warden is a thing that's not going to do those sorts of behaviors. It's different, right? And the Warden didn't just suddenly, whenever it feels like, come out of nowhere. Like, you have to trigger it, whereas this other one would just come out of nowhere. It wasn't even a predictable timer. At least not that I ever saw in the 2 runs. So I figure, even though my brain is telling me that can't happen in vanilla Minecraft, this is too vanilla, I keep expecting it. Maybe I should change the title to Chicken RS. But oh, speaking of chickens, yesterday James Curry had made a comment about wanting to get rid of the chickens at spawn in this Java server, and I said I could take care of it for him, no big deal. And so he didn't do it. And after my stream was over, I did go down into spawn. There is no more chicken hole. If anybody needs chickens or the products they're from, I still have a ton. So the cooked chicken and the feathers are still at the little free Canadian Fried Chicken stand, and I have not added eggs there. I could, I just haven't. So yeah. Still debating whether to do for sale kits of chicken cooker parts, or whether I just leave it. I'm not fully sure if I want to, like, what I want to do there. A lot of people actually prefer something other than chicken for their food source. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't really thought about, like, I thought about it and then I kind of shelved the idea because other things came up. You have a customer service area set up for the wardens to wait for assistance from the player. Oh yes, it was like a hotel concierge desk, right? Yes, I remember that. And somebody at one point was struggling because for a while there was a space where people had forgotten to put a desk, and the warden was interested in giving you face-to-face service. I do remember seeing that. But that was quickly resolved. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, what was it? There was a year, I think it was that Iron Man Hockey had built a spider farm. Just a generic, large, ugly black spider farm. Might even have been a double spawner, I can't recall. But it took a while for him to successfully convince me that it was Dell-proof. So, yeah. But my kids were not too impressed with me, just in the way I play. I mean, everybody does their own thing, right? They're like, why do you even play on survival multiplayers if you're not going to do it the way it's meant to be done? And I said, well, what's your idea of meant to be done? I mean, I survive on the surface. The looks I got were not encouraging, let's put it that way. But that's okay. Everybody does their own thing. Well, I don't know. Employee only generally, to me, implies that the employees have more permission to go places than the customers do. So I don't know. Maybe we need to change up the sign and have it say like customers only past this point. Kind of like when you can't take your alcoholic drink somewhere. I mean, we don't go to, well, I guess we do. When people go to adult establishments, you don't usually see, you see a no minors sign. You don't get to see something that says like majors only. Which would sound funny, but I mean, when one is over 18 here, we become, you know, the age of majority. Which, in a weird sort of way, that implies that there's more adults than kids, and I never looked into that statistic to find out whether or not we really do have that. And then there's supposedly an age of seniority, but then there's so many people that in this day and age that get offended at being called a senior, which I find kind of amusing because one would imply that you know, in a job to have seniority would imply that you're, I guess, more in charge. But we don't treat our seniors that way on the whole, so I find that an odd usage of English language as well. So I cannot blame people for, not blame people for having trouble with the colloquial usages of various English regional phrasing. I'm not saying that's necessarily a regional thing, but I can see why just different elements of language usage is very challenging to get a handle on. One of my favorite YouTube channels is actually a gentleman by the name of Lawrence, who's got a channel called Lost in the Pond. He jokes about uncovering all the memos between Britain and America that got lost in the pond. And it's just kind of interesting to see the different things and the different usages of words when he talks about that. There's things that I didn't realize were different in the UK than over here. Though I was mildly dismayed to note that quite a large number of the UK population generally thinks of Canada as mostly just more America. Which says to me that as people living in Canada, we're doing something wrong. Titles makes it hard. I would have gone with Phantom of the Opera, but I don't think it counts as literature. Oh, so Fantastic Sherlock Fox is referring to the Geek Out question. So the Geek Out game we have, for those of you that haven't seen it, basically what we're doing is we are chat sourcing. Chat is my crowd. We are chat sourcing the answers to topics or category questions. So in this particular example, we have a geek out of literature. So we're talking books or magazines or comic books or something similar written. And the category we're looking for is at least 2 titles, so 2 pieces, in which a masquerade ball appears. And Fantastic Sherlock Fox can only think of Phantom of the Opera. And it does actually count as literature because both Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, the original French author, and the Phantom of the Opera, an anglicization of his story and slightly expanded upon, by Susan Kay, both of them do include a masquerade ball scene. So it does count. 1 down. I think, but Fantastic Sherlock Fox is right in one respect. If we're talking about literature or written things, and yeah, literature is not the highfalutin usage of the word, where it's all fluffy language and such. It does mean just about anything written. I mean, one could, at a stretch, and this is a really, really big stretch, so probably shouldn't count, is the novelization of... I was going to say the novelization of Firefly, but I realized that's a ball, but it's not a masquerade ball. Ooh, Fox, that is mean. Unintentionally, but yeah. Fox knows that... Fantastic Sherlock Fox knows that when he posts bits of music in the stream that I recognize, it's very tempting for me to unfortunately launch into singing that. Unfortunately for everybody, I was never a good singer, but B, I'm nowhere near what I used to. And B, that Masquerade song from Phantom of the Opera has a bunch that goes really, really high. And even though I know a lower octave version of a lot of it, I've got the weird sort of second soprano / alto voice range that doesn't fit with those very well. So it's not just a voice crack thing. One would bounce from range to range. So yeah, not gonna happen. Tempting though. You nearly got me. That's almost as bad as the reverse of a jump scare. Like a tease. I will admit though, it's an earworm for sure. I think, actually, if we're talking about literature, wouldn't one say that technically there was a masquerade ball in Romeo and Juliet? I could be wrong. I've seen versions where the staging has included a masquerade ball as their excuse of how Romeo and Juliet actually got to meet, because some of Romeo's family, or sorry, not family, but friend circle, that snuck into the ball of sorts being held by Juliet's family? Yeah, they met at a masked ball. There we go. Huzzah! I know something about literature, maybe. Knowing one or two does not make me an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But there, we've got two. Okay. New geek out. Ha! There we go. And we have owls in attendance. So here's a freebie for Stormy and Mr. Owl if they want it. Or anyone else who wants to say Mulan. I'm sure that we can hit more than 6. I'm sure that we can hit more than 6. Huge Stormy Owl used to have a redeem in her stream that was a trivia guest type redeem where she actually had to either sing or name, I can't remember where it degenerated to, but I think it was originally singing little clips from Disney songs and we had to guess the movie. Yes, Much Ado About Nothing did have one actually, because I can picture when one of the movie versions had Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson attending it. You're right. Though I will count that Fantastic Sherlock Fox because it's 2 songs from the same movie, but you're right. And the lean in the music question is the songs. We're not saying the movie. When we're talking about movies or book titles, if you're naming a franchise or a series of books, then it would only count once. So in this case, that would work. But speaking of Mulan, earlier on, with a nod to the owls, my absolute favorite is, and that one is Donny Osmond doing I'll Make a Man Out of You, because it was just a fun song and a bit of a fun bit of the movie. Excellent. So Stormy Owl's going chronologically. I'm starting way back many centuries ago. Just kidding. Many decades ago. And then, of course, we could say there's the one called A Silly Song from Snow White. And I'm trying to remember the proper name. Some people call Hi Ho, but I think it's the Workday song or something like that. And then there's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo as a song, which I like that one as well. Just because it's full of nonsense terminology. And Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's one of my other favorite ones. Although I will say I'm biased because I like Julie Andrews movies, especially Disney ones, and tend to know far too many of the lyrics for that one. I get the rolling eyes from my kids when I can say certain bits along with it. Zippity Doodah. Interesting choice. That derails and sidetracks me while you're doing that, so go right ahead. We'll come back to the songs. Zippity Doodah is an interesting one because it's based on, like the movie is based on books that are no longer allowed to be printed and sold and stuff like that all that frequently. There are a lot of laws against the type of historical discrimination and historical based character behaviors. So Song of the South has virtually vanished, and I wonder if Zippity Doodah will vanish from the Disney parks. It's a really cool, catchy, awesome song. And the actor who did the song and voiced the character who sings that song in the movie Song of the South, I kind of wonder if he'll more or less disappear from people's memories, because Disney has gone and gotten rid of the Splash Mountain ride that was sort of themed after that film-ish. And they even made use of old animatronics from previous rides. So the in English, blah, blah, blah. The Splash Mountain ride in Disney in California and in Florida is going to be converted into a Princess and the Frog theme. So that's where that one's headed. I'm fairly certain they can probably use some of the same characters yet again. Ooh. Yes, the cats from Aristocats are so much fun. And Everybody Wants to Be a Cat is a good one from that movie as well. Now these are often from the standalone movies. Does anyone remember some of the ones from the shorter movies? I was showing the kids the other day, there was I guess it was a Disney's, what they call it? Walt Disney's Merry Melodies? And I was showing the kids the other day a song called Fee Fi Fo Fum. And it was the advent of the Disney character Willie the Giant. And in later stuff in our generation now, the character of Willie the Giant is actually a friendly, positive character. But in the Merry Melodies thing,
Hello?
Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are doing their Jack and the Beanstalk thing. And Willie the Giant gets to sing a little song about Fee Fi Fo Fum, about I'm the most amazing guy. It's just kind of, it's very catchy and short and send-uppy. And then he gets distracted by recognizing the smells of apparently chocolate pot roast, which honestly, I don't think I would ever eat that. That just sounds disgusting. And he goes on to make a sandwich out of it with cheese and lettuce. It's like, ugh, how disgusting. Yes, the Brave Little Tailor was actually done as a separate short, not the same as this particular Jack one. But yeah, the Brave Little Tailor was the one where Mickey was on about 7 with 1 blow, and he's actually referring to flies, but somehow the message gets all messed up in a grand game of telephone, and poor Mickey gets sent to be the neighborhood giant killer, just because he had killed 7 flies with 1 blow and went on basically boasting about it, and it bit him back pretty hard. Ew, no, I have not seen that one. I can tell you, Fantastic Sherlock Fox is not a roller coaster guy at all. I'm gonna throw him under the bus a little bit, just to say very much not a roller coaster guy. I initially, when we went to Disney World in Florida for our honeymoon, and I'd been with my family and absolutely loved it, and so I wanted to do things. And he told me that he would do everything that I wanted to do once. You know, certain things, I mean, we could do other ones more than once or whatever, but roller coasters, if I wanted a roller coaster, it would be once. Once and only once. So I suckered him into the Rock and Roller Coaster, the Aerosmith themed ride. And the story of that is so incredibly cheesy, so if you guys ever want to watch a ride point of view ride on the web, go for it. You're not going to have any spoilers to be worried about. But in any case, it's a nice high-speed ride. Fox does not like them at all. So right up to the moment, the last possible moment we could, he was on business call-in, like, what do you call them? If you were sitting still, basically it'd be a speakerphone type meeting. It was on meeting calls till as long as he possibly could make that work. And then he just started talking more or less non-stop. Yeah, not happy with roller coasters. And then as soon as we got off, he was very quickly, instantly suggesting something else that was very, very different from what we had just done. And that's fine. But he had said once. He had no problem with motion simulators and stuff like that for Star Tours and so on. It was just roller coasters aren't his thing. And then so we did what used to be the Hollywood. Oh, what's it called? It's like the Drop of Terror type of thing. But I'm trying to remember what the ride was called, because it was like the Hollywood Tower of Terror. That's what it was. Which is not normally my cup of tea because things drop out from underneath you. But of course, once again, I do everything once or whatever. I had done it with my family before. My dad has no problem with roller coasters and no problem with stuff like this. And most people there were just riding it just 'cause. In the 90s, I believe, Disney had made a made-for-TV movie that they aired on their like Sunday Wonderful World Disney thing, where they had actually done a story for this Tower of Terror. You could buy it on DVD in the gift shop and stuff like that. Generally, few people ever do. But they actually had a story behind this one, which fits the ride beautifully. Well, I had seen that, so of course my brain was thinking ghost, 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 ghost kind of stuff. And so that part didn't surprise me in the slightest when it showed up. But I got more caught off guard by the drop than I probably would have if I had had my head in the game. I think I've mentioned this before, but giving away the city, I live in Calgary, Calgary in Canada, Western Canada, and we have a little park near us called Callaway Park. So I basically grew up going with my dad on the roller coaster. My mom hates it, so for the longest time, it would just be my dad and I, and then when I got a little older, it would be my brother and my dad and I. But when I just didn't feel like going on it, then I wouldn't bother, because of course they're only 2 seats wide. He'd go with my brother. So my brother quite likes that sort of stuff. I just hang out at the bottom with my mom, because I had learned quickly that she doesn't like them and yet gets bored hanging around at the bottom waiting for everybody else. So she'll go off and like get ice cream treats or something. And I hadn't realized that. So it was kind of like, well, you go on the ride and you miss out on the ice cream, or you go with your mom and skip the ride and do the ice cream. Well, to me it seemed like a no-brainer. Ice cream ahoy. And then later I worked that ice cream job and yeah, learned no. I'm not sure if who was getting the better end of the deal in that one. But so I grew up going on that, and then permanent roller coasters like that don't bug me, but I do not trust the adult-sized roller coasters when our annual Stampede comes to town, just because my brain doesn't want to trust a vehicle, like a ride that travels from place to place. And one would argue that you definitely have to check the status of the equipment and everything and walk the whole line and et cetera, like looking for stress tests and stuff, if you have to take your ride down and set it up again elsewhere. Great, but if one's moving from place to place frequently, I wonder how easy it would be, or difficult, to order up and get hold of a replacement part if something was not right with the track. And yet it's one of the bigger attractions. So you kind of wonder what pressure the company and operators are under to, I mean, operators actually know, but what pressure the company would be under to just keep operating. So I won't ride those ones that travel. The kid-sized ones don't bother me as much because, of course, their height is like 6 feet off the ground max. The speed's not as high either. So those, the ones that are big enough to fit the adults to be able to go with the kids, those don't bother me anywhere near as much because of the fact that they're so much lower and so much slower. We're talking about Disney movie songs. I've derailed a little bit, but Owl Poppins reminds me of the Fast Cars part, and one of the rides I miss from Disney World that I would love to go see again is, I'm trying to remember who's running it now, but the Fast Track ride. It used to be GM, and now I think it's just Disney, which often means lesser quality in the ride lineup stuff, because they used to have car part testing mechanical setups in the waiting line. That was very much like going to an IKEA store where you see them testing all your furniture bits. So I really like the fast track thing, but it was neat just to go through a very slow zone and then a few zones where you speed up on a straightaway or go around a very, frankly put, a very calm bend. I mean, it's supposed to make you feel like you're going a lot faster than you really are, and the cameras, the speed that you're supposedly reaching on the speed signs they post, it's all trumped up. You're nowhere near as fast as you think you are. And I love the sort of the science of how Disney Imagineering teams get you to feel that extra speed that isn't really there. Huh. Okay. I'm picking up a lot of the ores here because the thinking that actually some of these could be used as flooring tiles. So if I end up with enough of it, doing the floors in a building with rather than just like straight out cobblestone and then ore of something that looks decent filling in underneath, that actually might be kind of neat. Just something different I haven't done before. I'm horrible at texturing, so if I'm going to go with an untextured design, I might as well make it look kind of neat. You have to trust a random engineer. Yeah. So there's lots of... One of the things I find interesting is, I mean, the reality, I'm not trying to, rescue every carnival that's out there or anything like that, but some of these videos make people behave as though problems happen every single day. But the thousands upon thousands of situations where nothing goes wrong, or well, millions of situations where nothing ever goes wrong, then those seem to get very easily overshadowed by the one time something went wrong, or the one time there was bolt failure. Now, I mean, I'm not trying to play down the anxiety that could be, could be this time, whatever time it is. But sometimes I think that some people enjoy a culture of making other people afraid more than it's not informational at that point. Or it could even be the thrill of the I was there effect. Welcome in, bird. That's okay. You're welcome to do whatever you need to do at any time, even if it's just dropping in and lurking without a hello. I appreciate that you did choose to say hello, though. And enjoy your drive as much as you can. As always, please stay safe. There are constant debates whether or not listening to verbal situations such as podcasts or audiobooks or in some areas even the radio makes it in there, like talk shows and stuff, as to whether or not those keep your attention off of driving enough that it makes a person unsafe. So if there's any situation where one needs to pay more attention, please do feel free to tune me out. I'm good with that anytime. Yep. Please do make it to where you're headed safely. So we were on about Disney roller coasters, and then we're into park rides that have problems. One of the jobs I wouldn't want to have is the first set of guest service the guest service desks, right after the Disney police check your backpack or your day bag or whatever it is you brought in. I'm sure that there are a bunch of guest service counter people that get the brunt of people complaining about how the person was rude or made them open every pocket that wasn't necessary, or they treat me like I'm a criminal right from the start. And I just wouldn't want to be that guest service person that has to deal with trying to make the person's day after they've had that kind of experience. Exactly. Kind of like flying. The incidence of things happening are extremely low compared to how much flying is done. Exactly. And that's also part of why it makes the incidents that much more, I guess, thrilling, appealing, and exciting. I mean, I get a kick out of, along with Fantastic Sherlock Fox, listening to some of the air traffic control videos where they've used stock footage or whatever to keep you interested, and then they're subtitling, and including the radio stuff over top of this footage. And some of the stories are hilarious. Some of the stories, you can see that the controller's had a very long day and he just wants to get his shift over with. And he's being safe, but he starts to be goofy. or she or whoever. And then there's times where you realize that whoever the pilot is hasn't been flying this region all that long, because there'll be some sort of like weird cultural reference they just don't get. And so they end up taking the traffic controller far more seriously than necessary. There's one I read the other day, or saw the other day on my own channel, because I was falling down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole, where some poor lady, unfortunately, I guess some poor like senior lady or whatever, had to figure out how to fly and land. Thankfully, the air traffic controller was helping, and land her small, I think it was a twin-engine airplane, after the pilot, her husband, suddenly dies on the flight. I could not imagine having to deal with that. I mean, I really never ever want to. What? Fantastic Sherlock Fox, could you please message me with a bit of explanation? I'm a little confused on what you're referring to. Am I going off the wrong end? Maybe need a trigger warning? Or are we trying to change up something else? Because I can always change topics. That's fine too. Oh, I got it. Took me a second. I have Bot or Oswin filtered out of the screen that I see on mine just to avoid a lot of the generic spam that the bot puts out, just so I don't see it while I'm trying to play. It also keeps the little dings of messages coming in being, keeps those dings being relevant to people's chat messages, not the thing. So I didn't realize that there was something going sideways with the bot. So I get it. Like with the Hangman game, or sorry, Geek Out game. I get it now. Welcome back, Spring Shadow. Or characters who are addressed by their last name. Basically, just about any cop show you want. And a lot of other ones. Even like House, for example, frequently addresses a lot of the co-doctor characters. They just drop the first name altogether. Some of them have first names, but some of them are just addressed by last name. I mean, like, I don't even know what Dr. House's first name is off the top of my head. I know if I'd watched the show more recently, we used to watch it a lot, but if I watched it recently, then I'd think of him more as House, but he often gets referred to as House. It's Geek Out on screen. Cagney and Lacey, exactly. Fox and Mulder? X-Files? Yeah, generally cop characters are... A lot of the medical profession ones can be... trying to remember, I think some of the ones in Criminal Minds are, except within the team themselves. Yeah, Matlock is a good one. That's the guy's last name. I think Perry Mason was Perry more frequently. Trying to think of who else. I was going to say Nero Wolf gets called Wolf a lot, but by the cops actually. But I think his sidekick Archie Goodwin gets Archie more frequently because he's in Nero Wolf's employ, and so employees often had first name only and dropped the last name. Yep, Bones in Booth. Good one, yep. Grissom was an interesting start to that conversation as well. See, this is why. This is part of why I like doing this with chat, because we can often exceed the base goal. Frequently I find you get this sort of behavior with last names more often when you've got one-syllable last names. You do see it with some two-syllable last names, but frequently you'll find it with one-syllable last names. And then you'll also find it if you're watching some sort of show where the first name can be considered inappropriate for some reason or other, whether it be culturally or whether it be because they want to make dead obvious what's going on. Yeah. So, like, for example, and what I'm thinking of here is, so you've got Harvey Birdman is one of the examples. So they very frequently address the character as Harvey. You don't often get too many people in that show just simply calling him Birdman, in spite of the fact that he's rather literally a Birdman. You don't often get people just calling him that. But I mean, that's sort of an outside the box example, and usually aired during a time slot, for me, that would be normally an Adult Swim kind of thing, so it doesn't really fit in this conversation all that effectively. Yeah, a lot of the ones that have titles to go with them, particularly rank titles, are ones where you'll find the rank title dropped, and only certain staff are able to refer to them by their first name. So we've got, there's all the Trek ones, right? Janeway and Picard and Kirk. There's those that, like Spock, that don't have either first or last, just sort of is, which is kind of ridiculous because if he was half human, he should have had a first and a last name, but whatever. Has to do with which side of the family wasn't human. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I mean, there's a turnaround as well. There's some shows, like you'll see in, what I'm thinking of here is Doctor Who is just a rather random example, where people get referred to actually by their title without any name at all. There's situations where you'll see phrases like the Major, or just simply called Major, and the person actually has a name, but people don't use it. So I find that an unusual twist going the opposite direction. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Because Dax was actually the one-word name of the symbiote, if I remember correctly. Which for Starfleet purposes, gave them a first name and a last name. Because apparently the host only got a one-word name as well. So then they would, for Starfleet purposes, in Star Trek, would combine the symbiont's name with the host's name, and then they got a first and last. And then, of course, the combination would answer to either one, or both. I think that they gave him that doctor title because he was a Time Lord, but I'm not fully sure. I'm sure there's probably at least one episode explaining it, I have a love-hate relationship, not hate. I have a like-dislike relationship with some of the modern Doctor Who. I prefer the old stuff because it was cheesy and campy. On the other hand, some of the modern stuff that I have seen has been also cheesy and campy. And other stuff has been really interesting. I didn't know if I'd have enough. Okay, how are we doing on the map? Yay! Goal accomplished, and I have leftovers. That's great. This bit over here I should probably fix, but I think we need to probably go up to build height. Oops, let's move this map. Build height, and block out that zone, because we're supposed to be in England. England, it snows, but not nearly as frequently as it snows in Minecraft. And you can't get rid of this stuff. So we have birch forest, birch forest, birch forest, great. And then all of a sudden, grove. But it's a nice snowy winter grove. I might have to do a build height thing. We'll have to see. Oh, I have 3. So now I have 3 golems now. We're moving up in the world. And 1, 2, what do we got? And we're down 1 more. So we had 7 villagers. Now mysteriously we're down to 6. Already. Don't know. Rainbow. Yeah, my brother was very much into Doctor Who. And I was for a while. Though maybe it was because I was actually just spending time with a friend. Wow, wouldn't that be a prank to play on somebody? You find out they've got a problem like that, and then you just go in and build a great big UFO over their base. Oh, we do have a fox, although that's last name, not first. Funny story in our house, actually, is, or in our world, is that, I've told this one before, but my brother's cats are named after that. Fox and Fox Mulder situation, because, my sister-in-law likes or has, at some point, liked the Harry Potter books. I don't know if she still does or not. Not going there. But, she named one of their 2 black kittens they brought home, like a pair from the same litter. She named it Fox, after the Phoenix in the Harry Potter books. And my brother likes X-Files. So he wanted to name one of them, like, I think it was a boy, and he wanted to name it, like, Mulder or something like that. No, yeah, so Fox for Mulder. And then he wanted to look at that, but then, so the other one was going to be Dana. And she said, no, you couldn't name it after the X-Files. Okay, well, so since he got told he couldn't name it after the X-Files, he decided that he was going with the joke in Ghostbusters, where there is no Dana, only Zool. So now their cat is named Zool. Yeah, long convoluted way to get there, so now they have Fox and Zool. Kind of cute. And also, Springer, I hear you when it comes to being scared of things that when you're young that are not worth necessarily, or potentially not worth being scared of now. I totally hear you on that one. When I was young, I got scared. My father liked to show me some movies that they were appropriate. I mean, like that. Well, okay, maybe that's not true. This one was appropriate, but yeah, scared me some pretty good. So first off, he doesn't respect arachnophobia, so suffice to say, I got to see arachnophobia at 7. You can imagine that contributed to me already not liking spiders. But related to this story, he showed me Short Circuit, which is not a big deal, right? It's definitely not a big deal movie. But somehow my little brain decided as a kid that the other robot, I would say the doppelganger for Johnny Five, was under my bed, and in the movie that character blows up. And so apparently I decided it was under my bed, and if I moved, that it was going to explode. Things kids' minds come up with. Although I can't exactly say my adult mind is much better, hence, last night. But, yeah, so I was scared of the Short Circuit movie. On the other hand, I absolutely loved Batteries Not Included. Go figure. They're not that different in the overall. But somehow, I think the other part was I wasn't ready to deal with robots that were basically given their own AI, for lack of a better term. I mean, he was sentient, and that my head wasn't quite ready to wrap around. So some movies like AI just aren't my thing. And it's not a fear factor or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, they don't really heal. Wish I knew why. Oh, and there's the rub, right? Like, years later when WALL-E came out, in spite of it being animated, the concept was the same. And I think it was even more harmless because it was animated. And WALL-E has also have a place in our life, weirdly enough. My niece is named after that movie. So we have a niece who's spelled EVA, like Ava Gabor or something like that. Famous people. Nope, it's Eva. And when my brother's being silly, he calls her Eva, because literally she's named after that robot in WALL-E. When she finally is old enough to understand that, I'm not particularly sure she'll be too impressed. But maybe stupid names for people runs in my family. And I say that because I'm named after the puppeteer who did the Lamb Chops sheep puppet for years and years and years. Because she once did a television special on the night I was born. And she was doing magic tricks. My father is at heart, he's a magician. In addition to that was his career for quite some time. So I'm named after her because she did a magic special. So I would not be too surprised if there's some resentment on my niece's part when she's old enough to understand that she's named after a cartoon robot. No Disney songs in that one, at least not singable ones. But speaking of Disney songs, way back, I do wonder how much traction Randy Newman is going to get over the course of his lifetime out of Toy Story's You've Got a Friend in Me. Because not only has it shown up in 4 films, but apparently it's one of the most popular songs in North America when doing Disney karaoke. Just according to the stuff quoted for the Mojo line of videos, the Ms. Mojo channel and so forth. And they do say where they get their statistics from, I just couldn't remember. But it does make me wonder how much traction he's going to get for royalties out of that one over his lifetime. I fall in such really bizarre rabbit holes. As in, I think it's in New York, just off Broadway. There's a diner where Broadway actors, between contracts, can go and be servers, but then they're also asked to be a part of the entertainment, and they'll come and do musical theater pieces for the patrons in between their stints as a waiter or waitress. It's kind of an odd thing, but I'd love to go there someday if I ever end up in New York again. I didn't know about it when I last went to New York, and I don't think I'm going to be likely to be going to New York again soon. But it would be a fun thing to check out. Some of the people there are really talented, and there's always negative commentary saying, well, these are the ones who can't keep rolling from contract to contract to contract, and that's not how it works. You still need to pay the bills, but that's okay. You know, good for them for trying. I'm aware that this part will not get seen, because it's going to snow on here, and it's not the principle of the thing, it's the intent to go put a roof up at some point. And why not just do it while I'm here? Though it might make more sense for me to actually just dig it out, because it makes the snow go away. Probably a little bit faster than doing it as a 2-pass situation. I didn't know about that. Do tell, do share. Curious about the Marcos cars? Bill, oop, more flooring. Random as that sounds. Bringer Shadow says it's a brand, but a long time ago. Oh. Okay. I don't know if they had it in Canada. I haven't seen it pop up yet in some of the nostalgic shows I've been watching. For those of you that are interested in North American nostalgia, I guess, there's a couple of different YouTube channels we like to watch. One is called Recollection Road, and the other one is called Retty for History, R-H-E-T-T-Y, Retty for History. And they're just like the soothing voice that will tell you about times past along with old photography and or old adverts shown or whatever. And I don't think I've seen the Marcos cars pop up in that. So it's possible that it was a brand we didn't have over here. Where's it going? Okay, so we've got the actors addressed by their characters, sorry, addressed by their last name. New Geek Out, literature, so we're back to written material. 4 titles that begin with the letter S. Now it does not count if the titles would normally have a or the or something like that in front of the word that starts with S. So there are a lot of things that wouldn't work. And I'm not thinking of any successful ones at the moment. The Marcos GT is the name used by the British firm of Marcos Engineering Limited for all their cars until the introduction of the Mantis in 1970. Most commonly, the names used to describe the very low coupe, or over here I think it's a 4-door, designed by brothers Dennis and Peter Adams. No. Cool. See, I just learned something. And here's the thing. One of the Scarlet Sense and Sensibility wins. Does Scarlet Pimpernel start with just the S, or is it the Scarlet Pimpernel? And same question with Scarlet Letter. But for sure, Sense and Sensibility starts. Looking for 4. That's an awful high ask. I don't think I could do 4, even if I knew more than that. I'd even be pressed to find television shows or movies that are, or musicals that do that. Like, Sound of Music would be one in musicals, but the thing is, it wouldn't qualify because it's actually technically the Sound of Music. Though apparently, as Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I... Oh, actually, I guess you guys didn't know. Maybe he wouldn't. Anyways, we were I'd been watching a panel show called QI in the UK. And one of the I didn't know elements was that I think it was in Korea. Maybe it. Oh no, it wasn't Korea. I'm trying to remember what country it was. But when The Sound of Music was aired, it actually had a different title that had something to do with a frog, which I thought was kind of odd. And it was so popular that in order to be able to show it multiple times a day, a Korean theater actually got a version cut where, got a version of it cut where it actually cut out all the musical numbers to make the film shorter so that they could show it more times in one day. Which makes me kind of wonder why you would even bother. Isn't that sort of the point of a musical? Is to listen to the musical numbers? I don't know. So what I'm actually doing is, it may seem I'm wasting time. As I said, it's, I should do the roof over this section. But I'm looking at my inventory going, well, I either put this stuff away or I use it. So let's go with the use it. But yeah, No, it was not, unfortunately. Nope, Sound of Music was not a book first. I think the closest was written as a book, was written after the movie came out. And from the point of view of the actual lady who was the basis of the main character. Because the movie was not biographical. It was based on as opposed to being biographical. Okay, let's get out of the way. I think I'm going to give up on doing this because I'm just wasting time and putting down snow. Or making a mess with the snow. It's going to come back anyways. Well, thank you very much, Springer. Have yourself a great day. For those of you keeping score on the regular schedule, I have just about half an hour left for today, officially. Oh, for the morning slot. And for me, it's 11:30 in the morning. Well, just past that. But I will be back this evening, our time, although I'm hoping my UK folks will be in bed at that point just because they need their sleep. That said... Oh, well, thank you very much for the shout-out for Springer Shadow. I appreciate that very much. That said... this evening, this evening I'm not sure whether I will be here or on Bedrock. I like being here, I'm having a good time with it, but I also want to make sure that Bedrock gets a little bit of love as well. We'll see how organized I am, what I can find during the day. But it'll definitely be 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is when my aim will be back for this evening, so yeah. If those of you who have the opportunity are around, you're welcome to drop by. Where are we here? Okay, so now that I've gotten this part done, I have half hour left. Oh, doing this bit was kind of silly, but that's okay, because I could always use the dirt on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick comparison look here and see just how difficult it might be for me to start sketching out where the what's the word? Where the creek needs to go, because I'm basing it off of something else. Okay, where did I put my items? I'll show you exactly what's going on my screen, but a little bit too much of my own name stuck up here. And I mean, it's already leaked anyways, but I don't want to keep underscoring that. Okay, ideas. Where did I put that? Minecraft ideas. CAD file. Where's the map? The map, the map, the map, the map, the map! Alright. So for you guys, live references. References. Oh, wrong map. Perfect. Close enough. Alright. So you guys will get to see this as well. Let's just turn on the references source. Alright, there's the big map that we're looking at. And I am attempting to sort of do something along those lines. Now, the mill itself was supposed to be a lot smaller. It's hard to see, it's just up. Oh, whoops, it's in behind. I'm going to shush the geek out for a minute. Let's see, minigames. Close that for a minute. So, the one that we're seeing there marked as mill pool, or mill, is what I should have been working with. But then, you can see that our landscape isn't quite conducive to what's going on there. But we need to try and work from the mill, and then work our way around the front of the abbey. And we don't have a guest hall, so I should probably throw in a guest hall. Followed by, down below, we'd have the farms. And then off to the right-hand side, I'm thinking somewhat kitty corners, maybe almost on top of this snow. Just the way the chunks go. Probably maybe around about there, so I'll have to block the snow. Then we're going to be building another small lodge and garden, and then putting in some more gardens up here. I'm going to skip the stables, simply because the hill in Minecraft is not super conducive to adding that sort of stuff. If I feel like changing it up, I'll probably put one maybe up in this zone, just over where the text is showing up on the screen. But that's the inspiration map, and that's still a sketch from the mystery series Brother Cadfael Chronicles by Edith Pargeter, or Ellis Peters actually is what her pen name was. That's where we're headed with that one. I need to make sure I keep space for the workshop and herb garden, because that is the #1 focus of this entire series. So yeah, we need to make sure that we've got space for that. But there you have it. Alright, so given... So this is what FreeCam is useful for, right? Do that again. And where am I here? I'm thinking probably the best thing for us to put in next would be a guest hall, I suppose. But I think I might be best to, even before the guest hall goes in, to start marking out where things are, because the space that we've got on the hill, the space that we've got on the hill, I need to make sure that the workshop and garden will fit and not fall off the edge of the cliff. So that is a creek that runs around the back and doesn't actually need to connect to anything, so I can make it just like disappear off down the hill and go back to the river. Because the space we're looking at is quite skewed compared to what it would have been in the actual area. Bob would probably be a little bit more familiar with it, and possibly even Springer would be more familiar with it. And I just spotted... So we have some inspectors who kind of fell off the cliff. They can stay down there. That's fine. But it does suggest that there may be more pillagers kicking around. Alright. So doing a bit of a layout is a bit of a challenge. Now I'd love to have a camera that just stays up here and run the character, but I'm not sure that I would be able to do that without making myself fall off a cliff or getting quite nauseous. So I'm going to have to try and fake it till you make it, because in the picture you see there, on the left side, we've got the English bridge. Is what they've written it as. Well, I kind of borked it, because the map we're working with in England would have had the church, or the castle, A, way smaller by comparison, and B, this bridge is somewhat appropriate placed for the castle, but the abbey space really doesn't fit anywhere else here, so the bridge is in the wrong spot. Right, so yeah, we're just dealing with that. Alright. Where am I here? Let's take out, let's make this. Can we do it one more time? Oh, nope. Did I hit the wrong button? I did. Escape. I want FreeCam 2. That's what I wanted. So if I go up, tip, come back out. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is we can actually get a second look. So and I'm centering it on my screen, even though it's ending up on your map. Don't worry, I'll fix that. Okay, that should give us a half decent shot. Okay, good. So this way, if I just hit F4 and 2, I snap to position 2. Position 1 is not in use at the moment, but position 2 should be right here. So then I can close that and run off and do our thing. Okay, so let's pause for a second, and I'm going to make the reference picture smaller. Sketch map. Unlock. I need to Google it. Yeah, probably. Oh, I see. Fantastic Shark Foxes use the second usage of the term walled garden in a technology sense. I can see now what we're talking about. Okay. Oops. Tough to get the scale when you're shrinking things on the screen. It's a little bit, a little smaller. I'm gonna re-enable the Geek Out, so where did that go? Minigames? Geek Out. Okay, close enough. Close enough, because we're gonna have some collisions anyway. Let's try new Geek Out, because S's are not working too well. Oops, press the button. Choice. There we go. References. A little smaller, please. Should do. Alright. And of course it's raining. That would happen, wouldn't it? Pardon me. So thank you, Bird, for dropping by. On mobile, yeah, for sure. Enjoy. I do understand. And please do give them the support that they deserve. Thank you very much for dropping in at all, and thank you for joining us. Alright, what have we got here? Random wood stuff, which should probably be sorted and put away, but that's okay. More stone blocks. Okay, then let's just throw throw these in the end, turn this into a slightly larger shulker monster. And I'm going to be, you're catching me looking way over here because I have a 3-monitor setup. So on, wrong hand, this hand, where okay, so this way, I guess. From your point of view, on, I think it's this side, I've got my OBS, that way, maybe? Doesn't like my finger. And then I play on the center screen, and on the other side, whatever it is, this one, maybe? I don't know. Then I've got my reference picture. Nope, the other way around, because I'm looking this way. In any case, so I've got a lot of stuff spread out, and I'm just looking at my reference to see where we're at. And I'm not going to worry too much about a mill pond. So I'm just going to loosely dig a slot from this side. And we're just going to let it go sort of where it goes. But we're not seeing a ton. So I'm sort of looking at the mini-map to see what have I done. Yes, this will definitely need more water in it, clearly. Okay. Escape. M settings. Minimap settings. Nope, that's not what I want. Options, controls, keybinds. There we go. What I'm looking for don't know. Reset. Left button. No. Let's do something really wild. How about that? Sure. Okay, I'm gonna regret that, but that's okay. What I'm looking for is, in Zero's minimap, I need the slightly larger map version. And it's possible they may have just taken that out again. Toggle, toggle, toggle. Oh. Well, welcome in, Yellow. Thank you very much. Thank you for dropping by. And Zero, thank you for, napping? Maybe? Hello? 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 Okay, so what I'm looking for is... I need to read our chunk grid, chunk claims. Z. Okay. If I do this... Aha! That's only for the duration of holding down Z. That's fine, because then I can get a bit of a better picture where we're at without having a whole big thing on the screen. I need to come quite a ways down. We don't have a gatehouse. Interesting. With a court. Okay, so I need to work on a lot of that. Okay. Which would involve a bit of a wall that only runs down to the edge of the pools. Huh. Wonder why people would do that. Then there's a wall that goes around the main road, up to the northeast to a cemetery, and then wraps around the east side to the stables. And then back down to the ponds on the other side. Alright. So I can just wing it, I guess. Oh, I see. Zero spotted what I was looking for faster than me. That's where the Z comes from. Gotcha! That's a very American thing, actually. It should be a Z, but whatever. Z, Z, Z. Zed's Canadian. Well, actually, Zed's dead, baby, but that's neither here or there. Like, nice motorcycle. Where'd you get it? Oh, it's Zed's motorbike. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. There's your misquote for the day. So I need to go out past the building, at minimum. And then I need a guest hall. Where am I? Yep. Okay, so I'm still referencing the little picture in the corner, trying to figure out where the guest hall needs to start. I'm going to start it roughly in line with the main building. It only needs to go down to the end of the main hall. Okay. We have to get to it. Yes. Okay. There's your misquote of the day, right? You see that? Sort of. Oh, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just want to make sure it's not the same size as the hall here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. And then 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I have to be no more than, say, 7. 7 or, well, maybe 9 might work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. More or less this corner. Down to the end of this part of the building. Oh, that is the far corner. Because I chose to square off. Oh, right. Okay. so then I can fake it. Because I don't have... about here. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, pig. Hello, pig. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. And I'm just going to make it a rectangle, even though the sketch has it kind of cut in a little bit at one end. Some pig. Yep, Zed and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I can't tell you whether or not it's a good book, and the reason for that is that when I last read it, I wasn't sober. We have a copy here, so I should start again. There's the center point. 1, 2. That's, yeah, roughly centered. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. So, yeah. I mean, there's other things that one should not do when one's not entirely sober, so... How did I... That's okay, I wanted the wall to be out further at the back, but I don't think I want to even number 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, now I got 10. It's even worse. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't want that one. Alright, so then come to the edge of that. Yep, that'll work. Wing it, right? Wing it till you can't. And this one squares off. What did I do wrong? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I went 9 on both sides. Right, we're going rectangular. Forgot about that. For some reason I thought that if I'd gone too far on the other side that it would all match up, but no, it doesn't. Not quite the way I'd hoped, but that's fine. Okay, so now I have to figure out what to do with the guest hall. That's okay, that's another basic project. Oh, did I? Yeah, okay, so I was using bricks on corners and then stone in the regular section. And I didn't carry that motif on the main hall. Whew, shame on me. Okay, well, I got stuff to do. Sleep this off and go get the shulker monster because it's kind of in the wrong spot now. Enjoy your lurk, Zeroed. Hopefully work won't be too onerous for today. I'm kind of all over the place, almost done for now, but I think we have a... I have a plan! Maybe. Maybe. Okay. How many slots? 2, 4. Gonna need these. There. Okay, now I have a full box, which just lets me know when I put it away where it belongs. In here. That one. Those are full. I'm carrying so much stone because of the wall project up here. You can see the jungle tree poking up above it. Okay, let's take some too much dirt and go that way. Now I can pick up a bunch of these. I have a lot of these boxes. Alright, let's just pick them all up. And I think if I put everything over by the Great Hall, the majority of the rest of the project will be over here, so I could leave them in right through here. I think that should work better. So I'm not doing anything between the Great Hall and the building itself. Let's start with a bed. It's always a good place to start. We'll start at the very beginning. Not necessarily a good place to start. Okay, the stone one here. Another stone one. Why do I have two? I don't know. Sort that later. Wow. 5-minute warning, just so Fox doesn't have to tell you. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to start with a look that's basically I'm just going to mirror that. So we need bricks, we need stone, and up there I've got more of that from Fantastic Shock Fox elsewhere. Alright, so next question becomes how high do I want this guest hall? Probably... I like this 3x3 window with the thing up top. I need at least an extra one above that. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6. And the roof can come in at 7? Yeah, I think that'll work. And then we can do a similar size or design size for the lodging for the abbot. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, so at least 6 high. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which leaves me with what in between? 2, 4, 6, 7. Which will get me a look like this end here. There's 3, 6, and then one in the middle is 7. So I like that. That works. Four, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then one here. Oops, not there. Then we got 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 there. 1, 2, 3. 1 there. Nope, come on. This one and that one. Yep, and then we'll just peak the roof like we did with the other ones. With, I think it's stairs all the way along, and then slabs on the top. There we go. All right, and then the back wall. Being as in the sketch we were looking at in the bottom corner there, we've got water running right in behind the guest hall to feed the crops and such. Then we don't need to have a lot in the way of windows in the back of this. In behind the section that's got this portion, because that'll be the archway, then sure. And I don't know if there'll be a private kitchens on this end. I never really thought about it. So we'll need to figure that one out. Interior corner. Mark it anyways. Or, how do you call it? Show it off, I guess. This one, exterior, exterior. And then a portion of this section won't be able to have much for windows either. because it's a sleeping quarters section for the guest hall, and they really need their privacy. And they'll have multiple different rooms in that one, so I may not need those windows at the end either. We'll see. Because I need a guest hall to actually look good. I mean, they can have food come from the main kitchens, in which case we need a door out the back side of the building. Probably somewhere in this little gap in there. So I could actually make some of the bedroom space down here, and then we got multiple guest chambers, although it might make more sense to make it the like eating hall zone. So yeah, need to figure that out regardless. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, I can't. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And there's our matching windows on the opposite end, which works for the dining hall. I think being a guest hall where they may want to spend some time away from the rest of the building, they might not have too much of a problem with windows there. Let's see, what can I do for the dining space? Dining space there, let's block this a little bit. 2, 3. That's gonna be a very narrow hallway, but I think it'll work. But being it's fancy guests, I need more beds. So I'm just gonna use scaffolding for the positioning for now. Make them double spaces. And let's see, what do we got? So if I was to block one, oops. There, what's that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, Maybe rather than having 3 on a side, I'll go with 2 on a side. So let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a wall. And that gives a little seating space on the end. Right, so 2, 2, 4, 6, wall, 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wall. How did I not get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wall. Okay, there we go. And then the bedding would actually be right smack in the center. So this one. Yeah. And I think I'm going to change this up. Rather than having double the rooms, I'm going to have single quantities of rooms with more space. Oh, oops, nope, hope not. I have a cat. Well, the cat can stay or go or whatever suits him. Hello, kitty. Alright, what are we at? So I've gone over, but you can see where we're going to be working on the guest hall this afternoon or this evening. Make some more progress on that one. And maybe do some more of the landscaping to get the brook ditch to come around the back. So that's where I'm aiming. In the wrong one. In the meantime, there we go. And just wanted to, oops, let's see if there we go. Not show all of these silly screenshots I took by accident. Let's see who we have on the list. We have a bunch of them that are live at the moment. Seems to be today is a popular day, so let's figure out what we want to do. I have a lot of choices. Oh, I see, okay. Not all of them are Minecraft related. I actually just spotted that one, and I'm going to be doing Poodle. So we're going to head over to... We're going to head over to Poodle Pirates. Yeah. I have a minor flag on the field for myself, but not for you guys. I think the community is going to fit fairly well over there. But yeah, we're going to head over there. So please do give Poodle our best. I will join you very shortly. Got a couple of cleanup things to do, but that's where we're headed. We're off to Poodle Pirates. Where is the button? Maybe? No. Apparently my cheaty button doesn't like it. That's okay. Raid. So I can't spell. All right, so let's get this party started. Welcome back, Bailey. You're just in time. We're on our way out. We're going to head over to Poodle Pirate, who's finishing a smith's house. And it looks like... Oh, nope, and she's doing it in either a Solar World or Bedrock, but she's not on this server at the moment. So, that's where we're headed, and please do give them our support. I will join you over there.
Mischief managed.
So, we're going to start by saying our thank yous to everyone who came by. Very, very special thank you to ITT Tom for bringing his raid crew by, his viewers and friends. Thank you very much for Bailey Games, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and Owl Poppins for spending their clues today. Also, thank you to Benson and Sherlock Fox for being our moderators on job today. And to Bob Reen, Tom, Poodle Pirate, Springer Shadow, Yellow, as well as Owl Poppins, Bailey Games, Jen1044, Huge Stormy Owl, AAA 19, JF Bird Blue, and Zeroed for being our chatters today. And if you didn't get your name shouted out and we're just lurking in the background, I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate that you took the time to join us and hang out. I will be back at... If I can get my thing to turn on. I'll be back at... You'll see Mountain Time here. But it is... Oh, it's going to actually look awful on the screen. I'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And in the meantime, have yourselves a great day, and I will join you on the flip side. Bye-bye for now.